Canadian elites on the Brexit vote. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. There's plenty of Canadians lecturing and hectoring the 52% of Britons that voted to leave the European Union last week. From Gerald Butts comparing those who support leave to Vladimir Putin, to columnist John Ivison claiming it was all about bigotry. On the TV sets, it's no better.
Shock and divide over the UK's stunning Brexit vote.
Where does this seismic shakeup leave the UK?
The very future of the UK in question.
It's not just isolationism, it's xenophobia too.
Yes,
it was a disastrous move.
This is a very big worry for the global economy.
A huge undercurrent of xenophobia.
We are actually approaching something that might even be called a political vision.
To see them descend into this farcical level is, from the point of view of a Canadian observer, it is a weird and frightening thing.
Now, what's truly hilarious about all of this is that these same Canadians would not accept a North American union that saw our laws not set in Ottawa, but, let's say, Peoria, Illinois. Because that's a big part of what happened last week. British voters chose to take back their power. The European Union, it's far more than a trading bloc, far more than a group of countries that agreed to drop tariffs and allow free travel between their members. The European Union is an attempt to form a new superstate, the United States of Europe, if you will. Now, while Canadians are supportive of free trade, I doubt that many in this country would be willing to let an unaccountable body somewhere in the United States or Mexico pass laws governing how we live our lives and run our businesses. But that's what Europe has been going through for years. Nameless, faceless bureaucrats in Brussels have been gaining power while local elected officials in Britain and other member countries have been losing power. Yet to the elites in this country and elsewhere, the rejection of the EU by the British people is seen as, well, the common man being duped, people surrendering their better judgment over xenophobic fears about immigration. But the vote was about much more than that. Former Progressive Conservative Prime Minister Kim Campbell actually responded to an op-ed by current Conservative MP Andrew Scheer supporting Brexit by tweeting that he was an ass. Now, when I asked her via Twitter if 52% of the British people are also asses, she replied, well, no, absolutely not, but they're being duped. Check out the tweet. Would never say or think that. Many taken in by years of distorted anti-EU journalism and lies that Brexit leaders now disavowing. Her Twitter feed is filled with anti-Brexit stories and ideas. But what does she mean, distorted anti-EU journalism? Like what? Like showcasing that, yes, the EU did try and regulate the curvature of bananas and cucumbers? Like showcasing the EU busybodies actually tried to ban the sale of beer by the pint in Britain and Ireland, only backing off after public pushback? Or is it showcasing that the EU did ban powerful vacuum cleaners and was about to do the same for kettles? They only held off because of the British referendum, because kettles are necessary for a quick cup of tea. They banned all these things in the name of climate change. How about those thousands upon thousands of rules, regulations, and laws that came not from Westminster but from Brussels? Or the EU courts that overruled the British Parliament on more than one occasion on issues that had popular support? It might be one thing for a British court to strike down a British law, but judges from Germany and Italy ruling on British law, that didn't sit well. Just like it wouldn't sit well for Canadians if a court panel with judges from Tijuana, Chicago, and Miami were ruling on Canadian laws. The British people were not voting out of ignorance or fear. They were voting based on decades of experience of living with what had once been the European common market, but had become the all-encompassing European monster swallowing up countries whole. This week, the Three Amigos Summit happens in Ottawa. Justin Trudeau, Barack Obama, Enrique Pena Nieto, all of them would have a hard time trying to get their countries to accept surrendering the kind of sovereignty that Britain surrendered to the EU. It might be popular among the elite set, the Kim Campbells or Gerald Butts of the world, but not among the regular folks. So all this brain about Brexit and Canada from the smarty pants types, just ignore it. Just ignore it as elitist chatter unless they come out saying that they want to see Canada's Parliament give over power to Peoria, Illinois.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.